So this is the iPhone 7. It was released back in September of 2016 and is now 5 years old, but is it the best budget iPhone of 2021? I've installed a ton of apps that I use on a daily basis. I've tested its battery, its performance and its camera. I remember wanting one of these back when I was still using the 5S, and now I've finally got one. Thanks to my girlfriend. And these are my thoughts. When I first picked up the phone, I realised how slim and light it was, and I've come to the conclusion that I really like having a metal back on the phone, and I feel less scared of dropping it because it's more robust and its rounded sides and small form factor also make it very comfy to hold in one hand. The matte black version that I have might not be as nice as the jet black version, but at least it isn't a fingerprint magnet. So upon powering it up, I instantly realised how small the screen is and how thick and big the bezels are, but after a few days I stopped noticing this. The screen is an LCD with a resolution of 750 by 1334 and it's not even 1080p, meaning it's not the sharpest when viewing things close up. But because it's only a 4.7-inch screen, it's not that noticeable. But due to its square edges and animations, it makes it feel a little dated, but that's just personal preference. The phone features 3D touch, which is something the newer model lineups no longer have, and it's something I really like. I use it all the time, from opening apps to moving through texts. This was the first iPhone to feature stereo speakers. They aren't the loudest or the clearest, but they are pretty good. This 2016 flagship has an A10 Fusion processor, 2GB of RAM, 1GB less than the 7 Plus, and 32GB of storage, 128GB of storage, or 256GB of storage. It's up to you, you'll know what sort of storage you need, but I wouldn't recommend the 32GB simply because it would fill up too fast. It's IP67 water resistant being the key word because it can break underwater and the water resistance does wear off over time. It features Touch ID, which is something that's really great to have in the middle of a pandemic. I'd choose it over Face ID any day, and it's something I will really miss when I stop using this phone. Something that Apple do best when it comes to mobile technology is software updates. This came with iOS 10 and it's had iOS 11, 12, 13 and now on iOS 14. I expect, like many others, it'll get iOS 15. iOS performs great on this device with no major issues, the main things being a few stutters here and there, and it's not the snappiest when opening apps. Apps can also sometimes reload when you've got a few of them open. The phone costs around £100 on eBay, and the gaming performance is actually quite good, with PUBG offering some decent detail. Battery is always on my mind with this iPhone. Whenever I get the chance to plug it in, I do, but with some less intensive users, you could easily get a full day of use, maybe even more, on this device. Now, the camera is by no means the latest and greatest, but in 2016 it was. It only features one rear camera, which is a bit strange to see in 2021. And while using it, I really miss the ×2 zoom that newer models offer, and because of this, if you're taking photos from far away, it means photos won't be as crisp, but for casual use and one focal length, it is pretty good. And when taking close-up pictures, I actually think the camera can take some really decent photos, only becoming noisy when zooming in very far. The phone does struggle when it comes to capturing highlights and shadows in the same photo. As you can see on this picture of the goose, the head is overexposed. This is something newer models would be better at because they merge multiple photos into one to get the perfect shot. The front-facing camera is 7 megapixels, which is perfectly fine for taking social media pictures, which is mainly what the front-facing camera is used for, but when it comes to video, it is not that good. It only shoots 1080p at 30fps, which is kind of a letdown. This is the iPhone 7 front-facing camera recording 1080p at 30fps. The rear camera of the iPhone 7 can record 4K at 30fps. Dynamic range is standard, and it does have optical image stabilization, and with some good lighting you can get some decent video. This is the iPhone 7 rear-facing camera recording 4K at 30fps. The phone does do 1080p at 120fps slow-mo and 720p at 240fps. Is this the best budget phone to buy right now? I honestly believe it is, but is it right for everyone? I don't think so. It honestly depends on who you are. If you spend all day on your phone and are very interested in tech and photography, then I wouldn't recommend this phone for you. Not because of the performance, but simply because of the small battery, the sub 1080p display, and the older camera. But it really is a great device in all the other aspects. So if you're more of a casual user and you just want to browse social media, take a few photos, then this is really a great phone for you. It's really worth the price, and the only downside is it doesn't have the latest and greatest features the newer phones have, like a bigger battery, a better display, and so on. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.